allows you to move like right over the terrain a lot faster. So they're going to sit there on Flopper Island, no doubt, hit up all the fishing holes. I've seen Thomas AC, Flick, and Anas here are going to visit this character to be able to buy a rift, and they're going to be able to move on through. It's so exciting to always see a rift. It just makes me so nostalgic. Oh, Rift to Ghost, I love you.
They'll be able to rotate fast. Meanwhile, Savage, oh my goodness, almost thrown off course. It's good.
It's a little, it's a little tough. A little bit, the suspension's a little high, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were made to literally jump buildings, but Refsguard makes it happen. And while he does that, they're going to look for tags as well. This is a mobile surge of vehicle, and they're looking for it. They'll try to go for it. They'll move out. Refsguard will be able to heal and drive at the same time, or at least be in the car at the same time as he heals. Tulek, Squeezy, and Jerky, though. This is kind of the perspective. Second place and first, back to back. They got twos. I think they'll look to just hit that bow shot with the pump shot. Yes, they combine it for the big surge tags too. And that's going to be looking good for them overall. Stinkfish, 6 of them in play. You saw before Sancho, Stinkfish kind of ruined one of their games. Now they're going to look to actually use them to get ahead of the competition.
Sometimes the Slurp Factory team used to go out into these fishing spots. They become fishermen for a bit. That's a big part of Kirachi's game plan. They have about 3 slots that's all dedicated to heals with floppers and mobility. If they had a spicy fish, that's what they use to overtake height. So that's why you found, you know, Two's way out there by themselves. So that's a great adjustment by Queasy's trio deciding to push, which has been so far a chill ride for that team coming out of Slurp Factory.
And if you're in the top 10 right now, you're also looking to grab mountains or grab guardian posts. We saw Anas at one of them. Refsguard's going to be up towards the middle of the spire as well.
5 points, bro. 5 points. This is going, you know what I mean? That's what separates them from first place. And we already saw Queasy got another one, so it's actually 7 points, right? The elimination, 7. We have yet to get to that placement threshold in the top 25, so 7 points right now separating first and second.
Meanwhile, everyone's trying to catch up. They're kind of in a little bubble of their own, about 50 points ahead of everyone else. Anas, Flick, and Thomas, even the team all the way up top with Alex Nazy, they need wins. They need wins right now to get all the way up top, but only one team can walk away with that victory royale. Only one team can really afford to push for double-digit elims and be safe at the same time. So Osflick and Thomas will try to, going to keep rotating away.
And I have to say, you know, Andalix, they're coming back slowly. They're in top 10. In the previous game, they moved up from 13th to 10th place. They have 190 points. They're slowly turning their fate. It's one of those teams, just like in the playoffs of any kind of sports. They're a veteran team. You don't want to see them. You know they're going to be a tough out if they're along their rotation. So no doubt, seeing an Andalix trio sitting in front of you, that's not good news for Anas, because that trio is going to continue on their rotations. As you see, Reason actually knocking Pizza in the feet.
Pizza going down. Reason feels like these guys are already hot off their step, looking to have another great game. Zyku-san and Jules, I would say one of the most surprising performances of this FNCS. Rolling in, they look so good on height. They look so good in their heat as well. They just lack that experience of control, but so far today, 7th place. They're right behind Flickanos Thomas and ahead of Janice Chapix and Hen. They're next to legendary names rolling in on one of their first FNCSs, you know, looking really good too. They're just having a very stellar performance. Excited to see how they look in future seasons. The games aren't even done today. If they figure out how to make up for their lack of experience, take more risks, they can get even higher on the boards today.
They didn't even make it into round 4 of any of the qualifiers, so they are progressing right. And you're right, if the career trajectory, if they decide to stay together as a trio, they could definitely keep having a better performance in the next finals.
Asroki looks like he's back up with Pizza and Ardit, so the full elimination didn't really come through. Savage, although, has kind of invested a lot into this game. Must be medkits or something that are already down, maybe big pots. Still has that stink bow, is going to be moving over.
Ooh.
Wait for the threshold, wait for it, wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Boom,
Okay.
214. Okay. We learned the lessons, yep.
Yes, yes.
They're looking real good. 214 above, and they still have chances to do more damage. Who's right next to him? Yeah, but it's Fast Roki. They don't like letting a trio getting away for free. Fast Roki, a lot of the times, if they're down on Surge, they like having these box fights, but I don't feel like in the last 2 games they're going to be playing that super risky.
Just showing you there, they take a lot of like moments here to fight this engagement. You have Wakey's trio out there, you have Vidil's trio just a little bit further. So this wedge is already being filled with big names of the EU region. And 7 points is all they need right now. So that number gets to 222. They catch up to Queasy. Placement points haven't been doled out. 5 points we're going to be doled out in about 4 places. And the lobby focus is coming in. This is second place here on the ropes. They might get KO'd. And that's Noah Riley applying pressure on the other side. That's Asterios applying pressure on the other side. Here comes the stink. The gas may be a little too dense for them. And Dreda now down without any shield on the sliver of life. Savage is on the same way, is able to get back to 100 HP, but Roughscar goes down. Too much pressure from all angles, as my boy Shio will say. Left, right, up, down, doesn't matter where they look, they were just getting too much, and now it all falls on Indreda's shoulders. This will be by far one of the lowest finishes they had throughout the entire tournament, and this is second place once again. 6 HP and a dream, and that dream is being turned into a scary nightmare. Can they get it? Whoa, hold on just for a brief moment. And that's what FNCS comes all about, the brief moments. To be able to res your teammate Revsguard and Dreda, the classic duo, now have to hold on tight. It's not a Savage clutch that they need, and now it's a duo clutch of Indreda and Revsguard.
They'll try it. Red Rush Mappy Exterior still looking from the outside in. Indreda, their second place ship, caught in a Bermuda Triangle of pressure and stinks all around. Might be a shipwreck here in just a second. It's going to be so tough to get out of here, and they're not sure what's outside these walls. You can hear the footsteps too. The shield for Revsguard, he went down to stink, so it still stays up for him. They get to save a lot on resources. In terms of the meds they have, they can see, I feel like, Revsguard through these walls. No, they're metal walls, gonna be tough. Here comes all the pressure. They have to move. Edit out right, but there's trios waiting outside too. 65 damage above, and they're still getting tagged. This is rough for Indreda and Revsguard for the moment. They're caught right back on storm line 2. Third zone moving in 45 seconds. This survival story has a timer. They not only have to escape this pressure, but then move in a time limit too. So this is going to be really strugglesome. 10 bills on Indreda too. This is just too rough.
My oh my, the shoes on the other foot. We saw this engagement down in Lazy Lake, and we saw Indreda, Revsguard, and Savage get a big key refresher off of Mappy's trio, and Mappy is just disengaging right now, leaving this trio on the island all by themselves with no life raft to be able to survive, and Storm Surge is raining down terror. 55 below, not enough minis to hold on, but Red Rush, he sees that, he's trying to capitalize, but some tags on Red Rush here. Revsguard and Dreda here, it's all but a matter of time for them to be eliminated here in one of the second games, and the Raptor says hello, but Asterios is the ultimate king. He takes them down, and now Red Rush, Asterios, and Mappy get revenge, and what an almost bad timing for Indreda, Revsguard, and Savage to go down, because Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky are still on their feet, looking good, feeling good, breathing in that fresh air.
Fresh air, first place right now, watching in the feed, second go down. Revsguard and Dreda Savage are going to be one of the only top trios in the game right now not to be playing out this specific endgame. This is a chance for a lot of people to catch up, but at the same time, a chance at the second last game of the EU finals for Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky to really solidify that first place spot.
The only trio I think they have to be have to keep wary of is Vidil trio. Throughout the entire day, they've been playing height. They've already defended them once. They already got a huge bow shot to stop their push. So we have to keep an eye on what kind of position does Vidil trios have. But let's keep an eye on here on a third place team, Tayson.
Third place looking to take over second, but it's a 50-point gap they have to make up. Looking in for a big fight too. It's a Tomzy. Bloomy already a little bit affected. I think Percival's down. They're not going to be trading lives either. It's just damage. They pick up another. Find Percival. Looks like they found one more as well through the entire engagement. Haven't taken out the full trio, but they'll take those points. Let's talk about patterns and weaknesses for the two trios we were just talking about. Sancho, Queasy, and Vidil. For Vidil, once again, they're having bad games and then a victory royale. Back to back to back. Their last game was just bad. They're slated to get a VR right now, especially we've been seeing them picking up eliminations all throughout the map. Now for Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky, their biggest weakness is having height like they have right now and not being aware of the lobby getting overtaken. This is a scary situation. The only games they've really choked and lost is when they actually have high ground. The consistent games is where they play mid, they look fine. This is such a good spot for them. They look like kings right now. but that throne is definitely up for grabs. They have to be very, very vigilant. Think about Thomas HD, Flick, and Anas as well. This is not a pattern we've seen for an entire season, but these last two games usually is where they operate. They love the pressure. They like being in 6th place all the way behind. Now, it's a big gap. They're about 80 points away or 60 points away from the 1st place, Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky. But if they can catch up now, it has to be the time. They'll have to take them off of height as well.
Let me introduce some other foes of Queasy's way. You have Shadow's trio, who are known to be aggressive at height. You also have a trio in Hen right behind them, who in game 4 yesterday were able to flank them and sneak up here. So it all depends where the zone 5, half in and half out. You already see Noah Riley already invested here in about 0 seconds. Here we go. In about a minute, we're gonna see zone 5 revealed, and let's see if Queasy or Noah Riley or Shadow gets that first moving.
We'll talk about the zones in the map too as these guys drop down pressure. You'll see a bunch of eliminations come through. The more important thing is we haven't seen a Slurpee endgame zone just yet in these FNCS finals. We've seen Caddy multiple times, Lazy Lake multiple times, the Orchard, Spire in the middle as well has been big, and Vidil, Noah Riley like to operate there. Everyone has experience on all sides of the map. Over here though, the bottom left side of the map, we have not seen any of these teams have their takes so far inside this lobby. This is going to be a brand new, fresh game. Noah Riley's looking for picks already. Thomas HD got some in the feed. Slender is still alive this game. All the trios we're used to seeing go down are up and ready. This is a completely fresh experience.
What a solid position right here. Look how much lobby is just coming their way from Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason. They haven't been able to get there. There is finally a good knock on Domentos right there, but those are the valuable elimination points they could to close the gap, because they have a lot of work to do considering that Queasy is still up. Here we go. Zone 5 is about to be revealed. This is going to be huge for the second to last game here of the EU finals. Let's see where it goes.
Checking out all sides of the map. Looks like people are starting to rotate in. It's towards this top right of Slurpee Swamp. Noah Riley basically have the gatekeep position, at least from their trio. I see one on absolute height. It might be Trulex. No, it's Exterios, who's all the way on high ground. With Mappy and Red Rush, somehow they found a way to get all the way up top. The consistent trio coming in throughout the day have kind of, had a leg backwards. They're in 4th place right now. They have the best chance to catch up completely, but they have to fight Queasy, they have to fight Vidil. 3 different teams looking to have high and take this game.
My oh my, we're used to seeing the low ground and just seeing Trulex. Yes, the defense they saw in the VOD how they got flanked on. They're trying to discourage that high ground retake, because we all know it's basically so much free. That's to be an economy type of way to take that high ground from, because they don't have to use all that. That's what Chapitz is keeping an eye on for. But look, actually Flick is pushing on Noah Riley. They're trying to take this height away from them, and Noah Riley's doing all that he can to stop it.
Every team from 3rd to 10th is trying to find a way to get back into this tournament, get back to the 1st place slot. Right now for Anas, it'll be going straight to Noah Riley's box. A big pump comes in to trade. Thomas HD is keeping this team's dreams alive, but he's the only one left up with 19 HP. Landed a big pump, didn't get a full finish on the Elam either. This height take did not work out, and their chances for 1st place are definitely on the line.
Thomas HD could definitely clutch that situation. He's done it in previous season. He's going to have one of the biggest clutches. But look, Height's in trouble. Trulex Jerky goes down, and Queasy has been put down to low ground. He is in shambles. Queasy doesn't want to be down here. The air is not just too dense for them. His lungs are used to clean air. Queasy now, he has to do all that he can to hold on. This is the 1st place team going down, and placement points are well out getting doled.
This might be the most important clutch of Queasy's career in general. The longer he stays alive, the more of a gap he makes between him and Savage, who went down so much earlier. It's all about placement points for that team right now, but for Exterios, Mappy, and Red Rush, it's all about the catch-up. If Queasy goes down as well, it basically becomes a foot race for every top 10 team to close that gap, but it's all down to him. 15 different teams alive right now. That placement will come in every single time one goes down. Queasy moving forward, only soft mats, 400 builds. He's looking to harpoon any type of materials, but every edit he opens is an invitation for more beams to come from any direction that he's looking at. A big shot right in front. He dodges it, goes towards low ground. He's still moving in. He is getting more placement. Thomas HD's down. He has a little bit, but he's taken out now. For every other team up right now, it's a chance for contention, a chance to catch up to the 1st and 2nd place team. This is that gap game, and every team's looking to fill it.
Reason, Noah Riley, and Badil are second from height. You're taking a look at Kinzel, 16th place going into this match here. They have some chance to move up their leaderboard, but Tayson, ForZR, Nate, who have been passive at in-game, are now looking at height to see if they could take it. If Tayson, ForZR, Nate could take height, they could move from third place and close the gap that the first and second place team are. You talked about it, Shio, 50 points, but Badil gets a knock on Joe. So Badil and Noah Riley are making their move right now as Tayson's going to the front side of the storm here just to make sure that they get as much placement as possible. We're getting closer and closer to the top 10 situation. Kinzel, Wake, and iDrop have the advantage here, but now we're taking a look at who has the advantage on the low ground. It's Andalex. We talk about the veteran trio you do not want to see controlling the low ground, but now we focus here back to third place. Shio, can Tayson right here, the ultimate solo star, find the impact frags? I think he got that one, maybe, we'll see. But Tayson, yes, he does, and that was on the deal.
Wraps up the deal. One of the other top teams in 5th place rolling in. Tayson is trying to big that gap all the way from 3rd to 5th place and catch up to 1st. He's looking possibly for a height retake 2. Surveying the area. Meanwhile, Marine down in the feed. Wolfie's going away too. That entire squad is getting taken away. He's done the analysis. I feel like the team might be going for it in just a second. They have a little bit of those materials, but no. Kinzel, Wake, and iDrop are way too high. We're going straight to the ocean as well. Low ground's going to be a little bit of trouble. They have to build a little bit more on the floors. Tayson is getting close and personal to that low ground as well. Holding all the way left and right. Shaco's going down in the feed. Snazy on low ground also gets taken out by Nate. This squad is active. They're looking for box-to-box fights, and they're winning them all.
They need all these points right here. A 50-point gap going into it, like I said before. And if they get this, Tayson now is in trouble. 5 HP. He's going to have to move on out, but I think Tayson was able to survive that pressure here. Tayson, ForZR now getting pressure from height. Tayson down to sliver of health here. 6 eliminations from Nate. The former FNCS champion goes down in a flash so quickly. Now it's ForZR here. He's in the back of the storm. ForZR holding on. 19 HP, and he goes down as well. This is going to be a victory royale for Wakey, Kinzel, and iDrop here. And Clement, old names, old guard here on the line. Clement dapping into the water here, holding on as much as possible. But iDrop, Wakey, and Kinzel, too much to handle, too hot to hold. 7 eliminations and the victory royale. That's big for them. They were 16th place. They could get up closer. We talked about all it takes, 2 games, 2 pop-off games. You get a lot of movement on that board, Shio.
That was definitely a catch-up game, though, for the majority of the server, right? A lot of those top teams going down early, even ForZR not being able to go all the way to the end for the victory royale. I'm wondering how that shakeup looks. What does the catch-up look like? We have to toss it over to the desk to see exactly how that game's results throw down.
Boys, we're in the back just screaming our heads off. All right, we're just yelling as all of this is happening. Trios falling left and right. This is absolutely insane. Now, we'll take a look at the standings in just a little bit, but this was game number 5 on the day, 11 of the overall tournament finals here in Europe. Gentlemen, at this point, it's a battle between first and second. Everyone else is playing for third. And when we're looking at these like spots, we're talking about a large amount of prize money, okay? And all these trios, they're looking to climb as high as they can to walk away with more of that pie. Reese, Levin, this game is way too tight right now.
Look, you said it's a battle for first and second, but it almost was a battle for first and second. This was a full southwest zone. It looked like Queasy completely had it in them. This is basically the worst possible zone for Savage's team, pulling all the way from Steamy Stacks all the way to max distance map. We saw it not work out for them, but at the same time, it looked like it was going to be Queasy's zone. As soon as that 5th zone pops, they're situated on height. No way to build over. They can't do their signature height play, and it all falls apart on the rotate. So this, or is there both of our top 2 teams eliminated early in this game, which means that we saw ForZR. We were watching ForZR, Tayson, and Nate through that entire end game. I think that was a third for them there with, I think, 7 eliminations, which is a ton of points, which means it was a battle for top 2. But I think with that game, those guys are going to move all the way up. And now it seems to be a 3-way battle for first coming into the final match.
Yeah. I wanted to come out and say, look, the top 2 teams made their lives a bit harder coming into that last game. But it's really unlucky, right? In the case of Savage's Shiro, where you have the max distance zone. It's not even a max distance zone, the max distance zone for that team. And even in Queasy and Trilix's case, you know, they don't pull 50-50 that height different, it just wasn't going to happen, right? They just weren't going to get height there. And so you saw they were posturing for it, right? You know what they want to do, but they just couldn't execute it. And so going into this last game now, it's a 3-horse race. And what a race is it? What a race. Like, this is going to be crazy. Ultimately, one of these 3 teams is going to be in the sort of closing moments of that game. In that situation, like, then things just get...
We have a good game.
We're getting all different levels of crazy right now in the final game.
This is absolutely insane. We'll take a look at these standings in just a second. First, we got to talk about our top 3 going into that last game. This battle at the top. We got to highlight the 3 trios that are closest to the Axe of Champions.
We literally just talked about these teams as already. You know, we set this up saying, let's go the top 3 teams coming in. I think they're still the top 3 teams in contention right now. forthite, Tayson, and Nate had a good first day, but not anything amazing. They were 4th coming out of that first day. Now they're in 3rd, so moved up a single point, maybe even pushed their way up the leaderboards a little bit more. But Rescard, Savage, and Drea, after the first day, they were in 1st. It was all looking really, really good up until that. What was that, game number 10, where they started to get overtaken then? And then here we go, 11 games deep. They've kind of moved down a little bit. The gap seems to be changing a little bit more. This is one of the best 3-way races coming into the finals that we've seen in a long time. This is so tense.
Yeah, and you know, you look at Queasy and Trulex, both incredibly experienced players. Juriki, this is only his 2nd time playing in an FNCS finals. You know, is the pressure going to get to him coming into that final game? You know, he tweeted out just before the last game, we need to focus now. And so is this going to be the opportunity for them to close things out and win their first ever FNCS championships collectively? First team to break 300 points, 308 points, sitting on top of that standings. Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki, they need to hold on going into this last game. Refs God and Dre and Mr. Savage, even though they didn't get the game they wanted, they're still sitting there in 2nd. And, you know, the gap is reachable between them and Queasy. And so now, even with Tayson, forthite, and Nate coming into this race, it is still a very difficult one to win.
Look, here's what I'm going to lay out for you. The worst game that Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki have had so far has been 10 points. So let's assume that's the same again. That puts them on 318, which means that Rescard, Andrea, and Savage, forthite, Tayson, and Nate will need to win the game, and Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki will need to have one of the worst or equally worst games they've had throughout today, when they're extremely consistent already, which is very, very unlikely in order for them to win. Watching Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki's early and mid game is going to be so critical, because if they go down early, it's an absolute open field for any other 2. Potentially, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Reason Vidil nehrauu. If they win with a huge elimination game, which we've already seen them do, and the top 3 don't perform, which again is possible, they could potentially get in there too, but they could also get up into top 3.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? We are all focusing on who's going to be the one to clinch first place coming into this last game. But of course, there are still stakes that need to be set in terms of looking at who can get top 3. You want to auto qualify, right? So all those teams that, you know, I feel bad for Sancho and Shire in a way, because they're going to have to keep a track of everything and let us know what's going on, because there is going to be so much riding on this final end game.